right, we have Dan Bublitz joining us, who's a stand-up comedian, podcaster, host of the
Art of Bombing,
Art of Bombing. Didn't you start in
Art of Bombing, and Submerged with Dan Bublitz Jr.
Yeah, and today he's joining us to tell us about what he has coming up, a little bit about his comedy album he just recorded and his Kickstarter he's got going on.
Yeah, that's right. Last August, I recorded a comedy album called Strangers in My Basement. And it's called Strangers in My Basement because I recorded it with strangers in my basement. I turned my basement into basically into a comedy club that could seat about 15, 20 people. And I recorded 2 shows over 2 nights with 2 different audiences. And so we got all that done, and it's mixed and edited and all that. But now what I'd like to do is I launched a Kickstarter because I'm trying to raise funding for post-production because I'd like to have physical copies of it. What I'm trying to do, basically my Kickstarter is a pre-release essentially, because I'm trying to raise enough funds so that I can have it pressed on vinyl. That's the goal, is to have it pressed on vinyl.
Okay, so you pretty much recorded it yourself, the video and audio in your basement.
Yeah, well, not myself. I mean, I did. I had a professional recording sound engineer come in and record it, and I paid for all that. So I paid a professional sound recordist to come in, do the recording, and then do the editing and the mixing and all that. So, but yeah, I cost to do, because that's the other thing. I don't have a record label behind me. I'm doing this all independent of a record label.
Yeah. So you recorded it, and are you going to release it before you raise money, or are you going to wait to raise enough money to have it pressed?
Well, I'm gonna wait for the Kickstarter to see how that goes. And then, I mean, if I don't, because you only get a certain amount of time on Kickstarter, and I think I did a 45-day campaign, and I don't, I think that I only have a handful of days left. I think it's less than 20, if memory serves me right. And because of that, I if you don't raise the money, you don't keep any of it. It's not like, like GoFundMe or some of those other ones where, you can keep the money even if you don't make your goal. So if I don't make the goal, then, then I'll have to, I just won't be able to get it pressed. I guess that's what it'll boil down to. It'll still come out, but I'm not going to release the album until after I know for sure. Once I know for sure, then I'll go from there.
Okay, so the Kickstarter is it like people donate or give money towards it, and then they're like promised a copy automatically, or how does it work?
Well, there's different tiers, so there's different things, but yeah, basically what happens is it's a way of crowdfunding projects. And in, there's different tiers where, depending on what people pitch in is what determines what they'll get, and I have multiple things. Basically, though, if they pledge $10 or more, they'll get a digital copy of the album. Okay. So it's essentially, it's a pre-sale is how it works. But some other fun things I'm trying to do is, so the album, the cover art of the album was I commissioned my friend who is a painter, and he did a painting for me, which is a really cool painting. So I'm going to do prints of that. That's another perk. If, people do, certain pledges, I think it's $15 or more, they'll get a digital print of that plus the digital download. At $30, they get the signed print, like an actual print, and it's signed. So, and some other fun stuff, because I'm also giving away like stickers and different things like that.
Okay, so you say you have like 20 days left for it to meet its goal?
Yeah, actually less than that. I have 16 days, and right now I'm at 10 backers, and I'm trying to raise $4,000 is what it boils down to, but I'm at $356. So I got a long ways to go in that essentially 15 days. But I do have some press coming out, so hopefully that helps.
So if you don't meet the goal, does everybody just get their money back? And it's kind of like,
Yep. So I don't think so I think what they do is they just put kind of like a hold on people's money. They don't actually get charged until it's backed completely. But yeah, they'll get their money back. If it doesn't get back, they get it back.
okay. So what is your goal? Like, do you have like a set amount of vinyls you're like trying to press, or?
Yep, I'm only gonna press 100. So the album is gonna be super limited. I only want to do 100 of them. And most, I've got quite a few available through the Kickstarter. I think that's at the $60 level. They get the limited edition vinyl. Yep. And then after that, whatever I have left will just go for when I'm on the road and stuff. But I'm keeping it limited. That's the other cool thing that's cool about this is that there's only going to be 100 of those vinyls pressed. So regardless if I come up with money elsewhere or I'm able to get this Kickstarter completely funded, however I get money for it, there's only going to be 100 albums pressed. So it's a cool limited edition, almost collector's item.
So I mean, I'm hoping you're gonna reach your goal and it's gonna work out. But do you have like a backup kind of idea, like in case you don't reach?
Well, not for the vinyls because they are pretty expensive to have pressed. But like I said, I'm still going to release it on a digital album, so it'll still be out there. And then from there, I mean, if the album sells well enough and I make some money from that, I might go ahead and still get the albums pressed. And another thought I had is I might just try to do pre-sales on my website just for that alone, just for the vinyl. And then when I get to the goal to make them, then I'll have them pressed.
Okay, so how you use like the pre-saved money to put towards the
Yeah.
Get like you said like at 10% of your goal. You said you have like 300 out of 4,000.
Yeah, it's not much. I don't think maybe it's 10%. I don't know what that percentage is. It doesn't seem like it's that. Yeah, well, it's close to, it's about 9%. So yeah, close enough to 10%. So yeah, so I'm still a long ways away from where I need to be. But again, like I said, it's not like this. If I don't make the money, I can't do anything with the album because I still can, because I'm still going to release it digitally.
So is 45 days like the usual length, or did you pick 45 days?
Yeah, they do 40. Well, actually, typically they try to do like 30, but it's anywhere from 30 to 60 days. And I just thought, well, 45 seems like a good in between. So I went with the 45 because I mean, I'm an independent artist. Nobody knows about me. So I'm still unknown essentially. So I don't have like a huge fan base. So getting people to support it's going to take a little longer, I suppose. Like I have some friends and stuff that are supporting, but not enough to get to where I want it to be.
What have you been doing like to promote it, the whole Kickstarter? Like, do you have any like sponsored ads or TikToks or something to like get the word out? Like, what are you doing right now?
Well, I've been doing trying to do podcasts and type stuff, and I haven't did any actual like media or like ads or whatever for it, because I don't want to put a ton of money into advertising something where I'm trying to get money, because it's I could take that money instead of putting it towards advertising it, put it towards the project.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I've already put money into it, obviously. I've because I paid to have the album recorded and all that. That was, that cost me money. So
like, do you want to talk about the album itself, like what people can expect when they like pledge to your fund? Like,
Yeah, well, once you get the album, I mean, it's a comedy album, so there's that. I mean, this is a stand-up comedy album that was recorded in my basement. There's some fun stuff that happened. Part of the reason I recorded in my bed is I wanted to have more control over the album, or because I had issues in the past where some of my recordings got kind of got ruined because of hecklers and just different things like that. It's funny because my cat kept coming down to the basement and distracting people, and then there's a couple moments like that that were pretty good. And so the album is going to have a little bonus track of that on it, where it's from, I think we did both nights and we combined it into one track, but it's a cool little bonus. And on the cover, the painting is like a mic stand at the bottom of a flight of steps, and at the top is my cat. So it's a pretty cool painting, the artwork for that. Um, yeah, but so it's like I said, it's a comedy album. It's material that I've been working on essentially since I started comedy. Some newer than other material, obviously. But it's my first comedy album that I'm releasing. I've recorded several other albums and I just never released them. So it's a cool project in that respect because it's very DIY. I self-produced it. I'm still having it done professionally, but it's a DIY project for sure. So it's a very grassroots kind of punk rock album. Like I said, it was recorded in my basement with strangers. My cat kept coming down and interrupting the show, and which ended up adding to the show. It was pretty funny when it happened. There's some fire trucks or police interrupted the show driving by, things like that. Some funny stuff that happened. So that's stuff that'll be kind of on the album as well.
How long is it going to be?
The album runtime, I'm not exactly sure on the exact runtime, but it's about an hour. It'll be maybe a little less than an hour. Between the two shows, I probably recorded an hour and a half worth of material, but I'm not putting it all on the album. So I'm saving some of the material for maybe the next album.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, an hour is a pretty good. It's a pretty good size, good length. I mean, it's standard kind of.
Yeah, for comedy album, I think 45 minutes to an hour is perfect. And a lot of them, one thing too, that's with this album, it's mostly PG-13. So it's something that can be listened to at work, can be listened to with, friends and family. There's nothing real offensive on it. There's no real bad language. I think I might say one curse word through the whole album, if I remember correctly. Maybe not even that. So it's a cool in that respect that you can listen to it pretty much anywhere without getting yourself in trouble or offending anybody.
Is there anything else you want us to know, or like I'm sure I can share the link where if people are interested in supporting you, I can probably share the links on.
Oh, for sure. Well, yeah. So I mean, there's the link. Which, do you want me to send it to you here,
Oh, you can send it
or
in an email.
I'll send it to you on Facebook Messenger or whatever? But there's the link. But also, I mean, if you want to know more about me and my comedy, if you're curious what my comedy style's like, that will determine whether or not you want to be interested in this project. You can go to my website, which is danbublitzcomedy.com. Go check out, from there you can see some of my social media stuff, because I do share clips and stuff on my TikTok and my Instagram and things like that. And all my social media is linked from my website.
Well, I hope a lot of people that hear what you told us, like, get interested, want to know more about what you're doing, check out your comedy. I mean, I've seen your comedy. We've met, and that's great. I saw like little clips you shared before with your cat walking in that you shared before.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did post some of that with my cat online as a little kind of teaser for the album.
You think the whole idea is great, like just like in your own basement, so it makes it all like more personal to you, and like the whole like intimate kind of setting, and just.
Mm-hmm.
Like life
And I don't have that basement anymore because since then we've sold that house and moved. Now I don't even have a basement. Have a backyard, I guess.
You can do your next album outside then. Do the
Yeah, it'll be strangers in my backyard.
one.
Which I don't know if album outside would be that great of an idea, but who knows? Maybe it would be.
You never know. You have more distractions coming up outside.
Right? Exactly.
More different animals walking up. All right. Is there anything else like you wanna share or anything you feel like?
Oh, I mean, other than, checking out my website, I got the 2 podcasts out there, the Art Bombing podcast, which is a comedy podcast where I talk to comedians about their worst shows and what they learned from them. And then my other podcast, Submerged, is a podcast where I talk to all kinds of people about the things that they are interested in, the things that they're obsessed about. And I've kind of been on hiatus on that because I've been moving, but I still got a handful of episodes that are yet to come out. So, including an episode with you, yeah, that'll be coming out. So, probably next week, I'll be back on that train. So,
Yeah, I will make sure to link all that and people can find it and find out more about you and what all you got going on.
yep. Again, yeah, like I said, just go to my website. You can see my podcasts are on there, my YouTube, my socials, everything. You can find everything you need to know about me as a comic and entertainer on my website.
You're in Colorado now, right?
Yes, I'm in Colorado. Yep. Just moved to Loveland, Colorado.
Okay, so your main like well you travel all over the place for shows, right? You're not like mainly just in Colorado doing shows. You're like
No, I travel all over. Like this week I've got some shows coming up and I'm performing, or not this week. This week I'm in North Dakota, and then the following week I'm doing like shows in 3 different states. So
the gas prices.
I know gas prices are terrible right now, and I'm just like, oh no,
Like
it's
three
not good.
in Joplin right now. I just drove
How
past
much is it?
380.
Oh, well, it's already over 4, so where we're at, so it's ridiculous.
So even more reason for people to come support you.
Yeah, exactly. Come support me so I don't have to go do live comedy anymore.
Help them and get this project going and beat the gas prices. Help him get the album pressed. Make sure
Yep, yeah, absolutely.
make sure you check out his podcast, check out his shows, and I'm gonna link everything so you can find him. And yeah, if you can think of anything else you want to have people like know about.
No, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's the main thing I'm promoting right now. I mean, eventually, I guess I do have a dry bar comedy special that'll be coming out later this year as well. So look for that. That'll be coming out through the Dry Bar Comedy app and their Dry Bar Comedy Plus, and then all their social medias and stuff too. The last update I got, it's supposed to come out in the summer of 2022. So, but outside of that, that's pretty much everything I got going on right now for current projects.
That's great. So yeah, I guess 20 days. It sounds like you towards the end of March is when your Kickstarter is gonna end, kind of like end of March.
Yep. Well, yeah, it'll be. I guess there's 16 days, so yeah, it'll be the 23rd of March. I think is the last day.
Whoever's interested, make sure you get on it before March 21st to get your hands on this limited basement DIY recorded album.
Mm-hmm. Get that awesome vinyl pressing.
Is it just going to be a plain vinyl, or are you going to do anything fancy, any colorful? It's just going to be.
I might do something fun with it since it's limited edition. Do some colors with them. I was actually thinking about, since my cat is orange, thinking about doing the vinyl in orange to kind of go with that. So yeah.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for coming on and telling us all about your projects and sharing everything that's going on. And hopefully people got interested, want to check out what you got going on, and hopefully support your little Kickstarter. And I mean, I really
Yeah, I hope so.
need your goal in the next 16 days. So hopefully it works out. You get your vinyl, and it sounds like a great little project. So I'm really hoping.
Well, thanks for taking the time to do this. I appreciate it, helping me get the word out.